Hey everybody, Shamanic here. I'm going to do another episode for the True Shamanic Stories. This one's gonna be soulmate medicine bags. It's a true story about something that happened very many years ago when I was going to Lansing, Michigan for the Festival of the Spirit. So I had a very dear friend, Suzanne, that I met in Fort Lauderdale, did some work with, and we became close friends. And she decided to move back from Florida back up into Michigan to the Lansing area, and we stayed in contact, and so on. And she called me and she goes, "Yeah, I got two things I want to tell you." I'm like, "Sure." Because first of all, I want to invite you up to what we call the Festival of the Spirits, a new activity going on, and they're inviting different shamans and different spiritual leaders and speakers from different parts of the country and even the world. And want to know if you want to participate in something like that. It comes from the Triple Goddess bookstore that I work out of, and I'm like, that store was in Okemos. And I said, yeah, sure, I'll try it out. I'm always looking for a new venue, right? I said, what's the other thing? She goes, look, I got this friend of mine. She's just a wonderful, wonderful woman, kind of shy. She's not like a beauty, but she is very attractive, very funny, very honest, very sweet. And she's just lonely. She'd like to have a boyfriend. I'm like, what are you saying? And she goes, well, I mean, could you do something that could help her find like a boyfriend? I'm like, Suzanne, come on, this is like what, a love spell or something? I don't do these things, and I'm the last person for people to ask about relationship, either advice or manifestation stuff. I mean, um, and she said, well, just think about it. And then this image popped into my mind. I was just like, actually, now that you talk about it, I could make her like a medicine bag for that. For maybe getting her more recognized. People notice her in a good way, get curious about her, and she says, yeah, something like that. I'm like, all right, um, well, I'll try it. You know, I'll make it and I'll send it up to you. And she goes, you want me to tell you about her? I'm like, no, that's okay. I think I'll just do this instinctively and just see how it flows. So I made this medicine bag for her, and then and sent it up, and I forgot about it. For those of you who don't know what a medicine bag is, this is one that was made for me by a shaman that I took through an apprenticeship. Her name's Orshi in Transylvania, part of Romania. You wear them about your neck, and they have different purposes and so on. So, anyway, months went by, a couple months, and then I went up there for my first time at Festival of the Spirit in Lansing, Michigan. And it was, I think, I mean, maybe almost a week, I say, long weekend or 2 weekends or something. It's a long time ago, I forgot. And it was a nice event. I could tell it was going to be a popular thing. Looking forward to going back. And the Triple Goddess bookstore up there, it was a really nice place. And I came back to Florida, and oh, while I was up there, that was the other thing. Um, I had this room, and I would had to do my readings and different counseling, different work out of this room. One thing I will not do is sit in one of those big rooms where there's so many reading tables, and they're just like a arm's reach apart and everybody's talking over. I won't do that. So if you want to invite me into a venue, I like my own little area so I can just have undivided attention to that person I'm working with. Well, one of my appointments was this young, I think he was an engineer, maybe in his late 20s, early 30s. And he's like, dude, I got everything. I got a great education. I got this awesome job, a nice place to live, and nice car and all that. But it's like, what's the point of having anything if you can't share it? I got a nice life. I don't have anybody to share. I'm just not good at meeting women. I mean, it just never turns out right or whatever. And I'm like, well, dude, I don't know what I could do for you, for something like that, because my relationship history. I don't have any long term permanent things, so I'm really not the guy to ask. And I was just thinking, like, what I could do? I could make like medicine bag for you. He goes, what's that? And I described it to him. I do a little picture, and So basically, I said, I kind of make these things and then I give them to people, with the intention of having what they want to have happen come true. And I can't really give you like a scientific, logical reason behind it, but they seem to work really well. I could make one for you, send it up to you, and see how that works. And he's like, okay. I said, but you got to wear it. If you don't wear it, don't wear it. He goes, no, I'll wear it. So that was over. I went back to Florida. I made this thing, sent it up to him, and of course, forgot about it. So they did this Festival of the Spirit thing, twice a year. And so the next one's coming up, and Suzanne says, "Oh, by the way, this is in the convention center this year. We're moving up." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. That sounds real cool." So I go to this convention center. I get dropped off in the front. Beautiful building. I walk in the door, and Suzanne was up on the upper floors of this big lobby, and you could choose. I guess I took an escalator up there, and she's like, "Hawk, Hawk," and she's yelling down, "We're up here this year." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And this woman turns right around. She goes, "You're Shaman Hawk?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am. Can I help you?" "Yeah. Could you make me one of those soulmate medicine bags?" I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, when you want to find your soulmate." And then the other woman came up, "Yeah, those medicine bags to find your twin flame." Okay, y'all got me confused with somebody else. I'm sorry. No, it's you. I remember seeing your picture. So back then, America Online was the biggest platform, probably the only platform on the internet, right? And I'm like, I still think I don't do relationship love spell things, and that's just not me. And I'm still trying to get past people because the crowd's growing now. Now there's a bunch of people around me talking about it, making a relationship bag, twin flame soulmates, and I'm like, no. And we're going up, and they're telling me how these two people met and fall in love because of my soulmate medicine bags. And I still have no clue what they're talking about. And get up there, and Suzanne's like, "What's going on? What's all this?" I said, "Well, maybe you can help me because they're all talking about some soulmate twin flame medicine bags that I make, and I'm telling them they got the wrong person." She's like, "Oh, I got this great story to tell you." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Remember my girlfriend that I told you about and you made the medicine bag for her?" "Yeah." "Well, she met this guy that you made a medicine bag for. Apparently, they were on public transportation or something, and he's wearing, he's the white collar executive, I think architect, engineer kind of guy, and he has his down inside his shirt. She's wearing hers open, you know. Women wear their magic stuff out in the open, more than guys do, right? And he's looking at her, and he says, "Hey, excuse me, uh, can I ask you about what you're wearing around your neck?" And she goes, "Oh, it's kind of a spiritual thing, and because there are a lot of people around, I guess she's not going to go ahead and blurt out, 'I'm looking for a boyfriend,' right?" And she's just kind of like stumbling with her speech and trying to talk about some stuff, and then he goes, "Here, look," and pulls his out. He goes, "This is so I meet someone." And she goes, "Me too." And shows, like, so they're all like, "Oh, now we have to talk, it's synchronicity, it's meant to be," and all the other heebie jeebie stuff. Yeah, I laugh about it. I make fun of it, but here I am doing it, right? And so they get to talking, they exchange numbers, and they're just going out. And then they've been like together, inseparable ever since that one meeting, where they saw each other's medicine bag. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, I forgot about them. Like I do a lot of stuff for people, and then it just kind of goes out of mind. When you're meeting like thousands of people a year, you know, and you're working with hundreds of people personally, appointments, it's hard to keep track of everybody, especially as I get older. So, and everybody's like, see, it was you. You know, what this story did to everybody listening, confirms I make soulmate twin flame medicine bags to find your true love, and they really, really work. So, of course, when I get into my speaking engagement, because we had this thing where you would get up and you would talk, give a little lecture or whatever, and then you would take people for appointments. What do you think I got? I got flooded with, can I have a soulmate medicine bag? And can you help me meet my twin flame? And so on. I'm like, oh, hold on. First off, you have to understand this was just some real random thing that happened. Suzanne called me about her friend. This guy talked, and I do that, and then they meet. But the crowd didn't want to hear it. And this was a really important lesson for me. You know, when people really want something, they're going to make that the truth no matter what. Oh, I did make a few more. And of course, you know, more people went out there and met their soulmate twin flame. I got all kinds of emails about how it really works. And God, I probably could have made a career out of this. But finally, more things started to take place. And I had to really devote more attention to people that had terminal diseases. And I had to make public service announcement. I'm sorry, but I cannot physically do all these orders and work with all these people. You know, it's just there's just not enough of me, and there's not enough minutes in the day. So that's the story. I made these soulmate twin flame medicine bags, and how these stories will just go and go and go, and people want to believe. You know, so this is where I also tell people that want to get into this as a full time job, make a career out of doing kind of work with people. There's too much work out there, and if you're good, you know, you will have too much work. You'll be too busy all the time. And um, I don't know what happened. I heard years later they were still together, wonderful, married, going to have babies and all that stuff. What the real mystery to me is like what really happens behind the scenes. And after doing this all this time, I don't know. I don't have any proof of an answer that I would want to give you. And this is the thing with this kind of work too. You can't really do qualitative data. You don't have these double blind, you know, experiments or whatever. You can have quantitative data. You can do something so many times, and but it's going to be different each time because of people, and people are very different in their circumstances. And you can have some similarities in what you do in your practice that will get you similar results. But that's about the best you're going to get at this. So I don't have concrete proof of exactly what happens in things like this, but I can say with deprogramming yourself from the social programming stuff, you can be more open to the spontaneity that provides opportunities for you to be able to do these things that people go the you know the oh wow moments, you know, and create these great stories. But it's about you just being available and mutable. But again, you know, and so I bring this up because on TikTok somebody had asked me about finding their soulmates and so on. I'm like, you know, I'll do a video on that, you know, but no, I really can't help people with that. If anything, people should be able to make the charms or bracelets themselves for what they want to create, what they want to bring into their life, and trust in that power because I I've helped people do that and it did work. When I work with kids are just unpolluted and they can do these things and they manifest stuff so quickly. They're good at the energy healing stuff. If I was going to have something, I guess it'd be like the Hogwarts School of Shamanism or something. I would love to have, you know, a school that uh, brought children up in a way that all this stuff is normal and we're just going to enhance your abilities at it. And that would be, I think that would be an awesome thing for humanity, you know, to be able to do that. So, in closing, no, I still don't make soulmate medicine bags. I don't. I would never certainly advertise it at that. Well, I don't advertise anyway, but I wouldn't make one with the intention of that. So both of them were the intention for to be noticed, be available, be in the right place at the right time, and trust their instincts and so on. But it wasn't specifically for that type of meeting. If you like these stories and anything I do, leave a comment, share it with people. I'm going to be doing a lot more of them. I have years and years of stories to do and share. And till then, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you.